If you need to score points, who you gonna call? Kevin Punter! Okay. Sorry for the bad joke, guys, but Kevin Punter is one of the premium bucket getters playing in the Euroleague and had a chance to move to the NBA in the summer as he held heavy talks with the Toronto Raptors. But before I let the Punter explain why he chose to stay in Europe over signing with the Raptors, let's take a look at what kind of a player the 30-year-old American is and who the Raptors missed out on. Punter has been modeling his game after Kevin Durant, and just like KD, Punter doesn't need 50,000 dribbles to get to a spot and values efficiency a lot. Punter explained that he has been studying Durant's game since KD was in college in Texas. I had never at that point in my career seen a player that was just as skinny, not at the same height, but just as skinny as me, and similar style of play that was killing everybody, anywhere. He and I played for the same coach, Rick Barnes, Punter said. Ever since starting his European career in 2016, Punter has been an offensive juggernaut. Last season in the Euroleague, Punter scored 16.1 points per game on 49.1% 2-point and 44.3% 3-point shooting for Partizan Belgrade. His style of play is such that those kind of percentages are very impressive. Punter isn't a spot-up shooter waiting for others to grade for him. Punter is a high usage rate ace who more often than not grades his own shots, whether pulling up beyond the arc, from mid-range or driving to the hoop and either finishing or drawing fouls. Punter's pull-up game is probably the best in the Euroleague. He has a great dribble on him, but even if he can't shake off the defender, he's good enough to take tough contested jumpers and make it rain, consistently. Punter's advanced stats are quite interesting. He made 81 3-pointers last season in the Euroleague, of which 43 came off assists. The story is very different when it comes to 2-point field goals, as 85% of the makes came from individual play. As a shot creator, Punter really is pretty much the best Euroleague has to offer. It's also worth noting that although Punter isn't the most athletic guy out there, he finishes his drives very well. The American scored 70% of his attempts in the paint, which is very impressive considering Europe doesn't have the 3-second defensive rule, meaning the paint is rarely open. And it's impossible to talk about Punter's offensive talent without the fact that he is a man who operates his best at clutch situations. The man really does have ice in his veins. There are two prime examples of Punter's clutchness. When Partizan faced against Real Madrid in last season's Euroleague's quarter-final series, Punter poured in 26 points in Game 1. He scored 11 points in the last 2 minutes and 44 seconds of the game, including a tough game-winning 3-point shot over former NBA player Guercio Yabusele. In the ABA League finals against fellow Belgrade and Euroleague club Crvena Zvezda, Punter scored 32 points in the do-or-die Game 5, which clinched Partizan the title over their arch-rivals. It's interesting to know that Punter was banned from playing the full series against Madrid because of what happened in Game 2. Partizan was up by 15 points with under 2 minutes to go when Sergio Llull aggressively fouled Punter. Wanting to defend himself, Punter squared off against Llull, showing a fist near the Spanish guard's face. The conflict caused a huge fight where Yabusele went absolutely nuts and body slammed Dante Exum like he was on a wrestling mat, not a basketball court. Punter got a 2-game ban for the Euroleague's equivalent of malice at the palace and returned for the deciding Game 5 where he made 7 3-pointers and dropped 28 points, but eventually Madrid won by 4 and eliminated Partizan. While Punter impresses with his ability to score, last season he really got better as an all-round player. Partizan is coached by the European legend Željko Obradović, with whom Punter has an excellent connection, and it showed, as Punter wasn't just trusted with scoring as much as possible. At times, Punter took over as an offensive orchestrator and worked hard to make others better while he was on court. He was far from being a ball hog who would just want to score. He was a team-first guy. Now, okay, yes, 2.5 assists per game doesn't sound impressive, but it can't be ignored that Partizan played without a true point guard and their best player in terms of assists per game was Dante Exum with 2.7. Him and Punter were the only ones averaging more than 2 assists per contest. After such a good season, it wasn't a surprise that Punter was on the NBA radar. According to reports, the 6'4" American guard from Bronx had serious interest from 2 teams, but explained in July how he was the closest to the Raptors. He was asked to name the reason why the negotiations with the Raptors fell through. Punter told that it was related to him receiving guarantees from the organization instead of just a general prove-it offer. Now, take it away, Kevin. Where do you guys see me with your team? Do I have to come over before camp? If I have to come over before camp, does that guarantee me a vet minimum? Is it a non-guaranteed deal? You have to put your money where your mouth's at. That's kind of how that situation went. Back to Europe we go, Punter said. In the upcoming season, Punter will continue at Partizan, although he was heavily linked with Euroleague giants Panathinaikos and Barcelona. Another great season should give him the next and perhaps a final opportunity at joining an NBA club. As things stand now, Punter will be even more important for Partizan, who managed to keep hold of 2 of their 4 stars this summer, Punter and power forward/center Zach Lidey. Dante Exum went back to the NBA when he signed for the Dallas Mavericks. Look at the upright corner and you'll be able to see my analysis of him and whether he's a good pickup by the Mavs or not. Partizan also lost their main center Matthias Lesort to Panathinaikos. Although Punter didn't make the move this summer, the NBA door shouldn't be closed to him. Yes, his age doesn't do him any favors, but if an NBA team needs a good scoring option off the bench, then Punter is a good and probably a cheap option to sign. That's it, thank you.